So I've made tabbouleh quite a few times before. Lately I've been using, it's called Akawie cheese, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's a Middle Eastern cheese, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's go through the ingredients. 1/3 cup of olive oil, half a tablespoon of crushed garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of bulgur or Burgol, 2 medium tomatoes, 1 lemon, 2 bunches of parsley, 1 small onion, and 1 English cucumber. The Bulgur or Burgol, there's two different spellings, is basically a fine cracked wheat. Here's the Akawie cheese. It's similar to mozzarella and feta, so it's kind of somewhere in between. It's not as salty as feta, and it's not as rubbery as mozzarella, but it's somewhere in between. And here's your bulgur. You also see Burgol, different spellings, but this one is brown and it's fine. So I think it's a number 1, but you want to look for the finest one you can get for tabbouleh. So you're going to bring some water up to a boil, pour in your half cup, and turn it off. You're going to let it sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes, but that gives you time to cut up the rest of your ingredients. So we'll start with the English cucumber. This is just a medium size. Not all recipes do include cucumber, but I like that to add that ingredient every time. It gives it a little bit extra crunch and body. And what I do with my cucumber and my tomato is I remove the seeds because they have a lot of water content around them. So the less water in this salad, the better. So you'll see I just cut them in half and remove the seeds. However you want to do that, just scrape them off or cut them off, whatever works. But you don't have to do this. But I find the seeds aren't really necessary, and they do, like I said, add a little bit too much moisture. You don't want your salad to become soggy. Okay, so just give those a scrape. Now all your ingredients are going to be cutting into pretty much the same size, which is maybe a 1/4 inch bite-sized little pieces. So that includes, your onion, your tomato, your cucumber, your cheese. So this does take a bit of work to cut everything into very small pieces, but that's just the nature of tabbouleh. It is kind of a salad that's not based on large leaves or larger ingredients, big chunky pieces. So this takes a bit of work, a little bit more work than a normal salad, but yeah, once you do it a few times, you get used to it, and it's a nice change from your regular Caesar or garden salad. So I've sped it up a little bit so it's not so tedious to watch. Try not to cut your fingers off. So I start with a small paring knife, and then I just finish off with a larger knife. And again, try to get it as fine as you can. And by eliminating the seeds, you don't have that mush. It's more of a drier mixture. And Akawie cheese has it is a brine cheese, so it is a little bit salty, but I wouldn't say anywhere close to being as salty as feta. So you notice I do have salt in the list of ingredients. You can omit having that salt, but I think there's a balance there between just a little bit of salt and then the salt in the cheese. So again, you could, if you're on a lower salt diet, you could also omit adding the extra table salt or sea salt. In this case, I use fine sea salt. So here you can see I'm removing the seeds as well from the tomatoes. You don't have to do this. And you can add as much tomato as you want. I found 2 medium or small tomatoes is for this size salad with 2 bunches of parsley is sufficient. But you can certainly add as much as you want. This time of year, which is the winter, it's hard to find really nice ripe tomatoes, but I'm making do with what I have. Now if you can't find Akawie cheese, you can use halloumi or other cheeses from that part of the world. Or you could do maybe half feta and half mozzarella, or just mozzarella. If you do use 100% feta, it's going to be quite salty, so I would also omit the salt in the ingredients list. But yeah, try adding a bit of cheese. It makes a nice addition to the salad. Now the onion, normally I use a sweet onion. This is just a regular onion, yellow onion I believe, but Now it does have quite a bit more bite than a sweet onion, so if you're making this for the first time, try to find a nice Vidalia onion, something with not too much bite. But this was still nice. When you're buying your parsley, try to buy the freshest bunches you can. If it's wilted, see if the store can bring out more or something. But try not to use or store your parsley too long in the fridge. You want to use it as soon as you can get it. So this is a block of cheese that was 500 grams. I decided that was a bit too much for this size salad, so I cut it in half. So that's why it's 250 grams. And again, I'm going to cube this into little bite-sized pieces, kind of dicing it. It's a nice soft cheese, has a bit of rubbery sponginess, kind of like mozzarella. Similar in saltiness to mozzarella, maybe slightly more. It is a brine cheese, but it didn't come in like floating in brine like feta would. It's drier. And the good thing about this cheese, it holds its shape well. It doesn't get soggy or come apart. So like maybe feta would start to kind of break up, and this one is kind of very firm and holds well together in the salad. Now with the parsley, I always cut off about an inch of the ends because they're usually a little bit drier or not as fresh. And then this is kind of the tricky part. You just kind of want to really press down on your cutting surface, your cutting board, and just make as small cuts as you can, small slices, and just keep doing that. But you want to use the stem. There's lots of flavor, actually almost more flavor in the stem than there is in the leaf. So try to use up as much stem as you can, just not the very ends. All right, and just keep doing that. And then I just give it one more chop to get as fine as you can. I mean, you could spend, some people spend a long time to get as fine as possible, but I kind of like it medium fine with the leaves not being super fine. Less to stick in your teeth, I guess. So we're going to use a large mixing bowl and put all your ingredients together. First, the parsley. This is Italian flat leaf parsley. And we're going to add our bulgur, which has been sitting for about 15 minutes. So it's par cooked, they call it, when it comes in the package. So you're just kind of finishing the cooking by adding the boiling water. And it does increase in size. It might almost double in size. So there you see it. This one happens to be brown, but you can get it in the regular white. I'm going to add our extra virgin olive oil and our salt. And this is garlic that I crushed, or you could finely mince it. You just don't want big chunks of garlic in there. Give it a good stir. The oil helps to bring everything together. Now the rest of your ingredients. And what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of separating it and making room for the lemon juice. So I'm just reaming out one kind of medium-sized lemon. You could use bottled lemon juice. I've done that before if I'm short on lemons. I've never tried lime juice. You probably could, but it does give it quite a different flavor. So if you can, try to stick with the traditional lemon juice. So I do this into a little bowl, and then I pour it into a wire strainer and just drizzle it over the salad. This gives the salad kind of a medium tanginess. If you want to add more lemon juice, by all means, but it will be quite tart. I think this is just the right amount for this size salad. Alright, so give that initial mix and then mix the rest of the ingredients together. Now I'm using a half a cup of bulgur, but you could potentially use 3/4 of a cup. You know, just don't add too much, it kind of weighs down the salad, but this is a half a cup. So we're going to cover that well and going to press some of the air out, or cover with saran wrap and place in your fridge for, I would say, a minimum of 1 hour for the flavors to come together. You could eat it right away, but it does benefit from some time. So not time to spice, but time. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I encourage you to try this with the cheese added. It's a nice fresh salad that I make once in a while. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Please subscribe, and bye for now.